Being a man in today's world is not about having the broadest shoulders or the loudest voice. It's about carrying responsibilities, facing challenges, and rising again every time life knocks you down. In a society that constantly shifts its expectations, one thing remains true. A real man never quits. Look around. The pressures are everywhere. You're expected to succeed at work, provide for your family, remain strong under stress, but also be gentle, supportive, and emotionally present. It feels like society is pulling you in opposite directions. And when the weight gets too heavy, giving up can seem like the easier path. But that is not an option. History shows us why. Winston Churchill once said, "Never, never, never give up." He wasn't speaking from comfort. He was speaking as bombs fell over his country, when surrender would have been the easy choice. Yet he stood tall and inspired a nation to endure. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time, admitted, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots. I've lost almost 300 games. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed." Failure didn't define him, persistence did. And it's not only athletes or world leaders. Men everywhere carry battles you don't always see. A father working 2 jobs to feed his children. A young man rebuilding his life after a mistake. A husband standing strong for his partner in a time of crisis. None of them quit. That's what makes them great. Being a man today isn't about perfection. It's about resilience. It's about refusing to surrender to excuses, to fear, to doubt. Every time you get up after falling, every time you push forward despite the odds, you prove what being a man truly means. So if you're tired, if you're beaten down, remember this: greatness doesn't come to those who never struggle. It comes to those who refuse to stay down. We live in an era where the pressure on men is heavier than ever. You are expected to succeed in your career, to provide for your family, to be a leader in your community, and to carry yourself with integrity in a world that often rewards shortcuts. The weight is real. It can feel like the walls are closing in, like there is no way to balance it all. But this is where manhood is tested. Not when everything is easy, but when everything begins to fall apart. Anyone can smile when life is smooth. True character is revealed when the storms hit. Think of Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison, cut off from freedom and family. He could have surrendered to bitterness, but instead, he emerged stronger, preaching forgiveness and unity. That is what resilience looks like. Or consider Kobe Bryant. After devastating injuries and crushing defeats, he never let setbacks define him. He once said, "Everything negative, pressure, challenges, is all an opportunity for me to rise." Those words weren't just theory, they were his way of life. Every man faces a version of this. Maybe it's the pressure to succeed when bills pile up. Maybe it's the temptation to compromise your values when cutting corners looks easier. Maybe it's the loneliness of carrying burdens in silence because you feel the world expects you to always be strong. But remember, pressure is not your enemy. Pressure forges steel. Diamonds are created under extreme force, and so is the strength of a man. The truth is, masculinity is not measured by how much you can lift in the gym or how loud you can speak. It is measured by how much you can endure without breaking, how often you can rise when the world expects you to stay down, and how firmly you can hold on to your principles when everything around you tries to shake them loose. This is where greatness begins, in the fire of pressure and trials. History is full of men who refused to surrender, who faced impossible odds, and who became symbols of resilience and strength. These men teach us a simple truth. Success belongs to those who refuse to quit. Take Winston Churchill, for example. During the darkest days of World War II, when bombs rained over London and the future of an entire nation hung in the balance, Churchill spoke to his people with unwavering courage. "Never, never, never give up," he said. These words were not just inspiration. They were a lifeline for millions who needed to hold on when everything seemed lost. Churchill's steadfastness reminds us that a man is measured by his determination, especially in moments when surrender seems easier than fighting. Or look at Michael Jordan, arguably the greatest basketball player of all time. Jordan missed more than 9,000 shots in his career, lost almost 300 games, and failed again and again at the moments that mattered most. And yet, he famously said, "I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Jordan's story teaches us that failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the path. Each setback, each mistake, is an opportunity to rise stronger than before. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has spoken openly about his struggles before becoming the global superstar we know today. He said, "Giving up is the only sure way to fail." Johnson's journey from hardship to triumph shows that grit, perseverance, and refusing to quit are more important than talent alone. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger, the legendary bodybuilder, actor, and politician, has repeatedly stressed the importance of relentless effort. "Don't listen to those who say you can't. Work until you prove them wrong," he says. Schwarzenegger's life proves that vision without action is meaningless. These men are different: a politician, a basketball legend, an actor, an athlete. Yet they share one philosophy: never stop, never surrender, never settle. Their lives remind us that being a man is not about avoiding hardship, but about facing it head-on. Every challenge, every obstacle, every moment of doubt is an opportunity to show the world and yourself what you are made of. And the truth is, these lessons aren't just for celebrities or historical figures. They are for every man standing in the face of adversity, wondering if he can keep going. The answer is simple: you can and you must. Today, being a man comes with a new set of challenges. The world moves faster than ever before. Competition is fierce, and the pressure to succeed can feel relentless. Technology changes the rules overnight. Careers can disappear, relationships can shift, and the expectations of society seem endless. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, to doubt yourself, and to question whether you can keep up. But it's in these very challenges that your strength is tested. True men do not crumble when life pushes them to the edge. They rise, they adapt, they turn obstacles into opportunities. Every setback is not a reason to quit, it's a chance to grow stronger. Lost your job? That is not the end. That is your chance to build something of your own, to create a path that no one else can define. Failed at a project or a dream? That is not defeat. That is the lesson. Every failure teaches you what you need to know to succeed next time. Lost people in your life? That is not loneliness. Went forward, refuse to quit. Face the pressures, confront the doubts, rise above failures, and embrace the trials. Build your body, your mind, your character. Lead with courage, act with integrity, and never compromise your values. Remember, being a man is not a title you inherit. It is a choice you make every single day. Stand tall, fight hard, persevere relentlessly. The world is waiting to see what you are capable of, and the man you become will inspire others to rise as well. So go out there, face the world, and never, ever give up.